Okay, I would like to talk about food resilience and how crop rotation, what, why, and where, and how this plays a role in resilience with food. Okay, what is crop rotation? Well, crop rotation is the agricultural practice in which different crops are grown in a specific manner that over the same piece of land over time and the different growing seasons. And by rotating the crops, so crop rotation, rotating, alternating different types of crops in the field, the soil health is optimized, and this prevents soil degradation and reduces pests and disease issues and improves crop yield, the amount of food that is grown in the crop. All right, so transporting in compost, humus, and soil inoculants. This isn't very sustainable as trucks carrying a lot of fertilizers or transporting a lot of goods do contribute to emissions that do contribute to climate change and the pollution of our environment. Yes, greenhouse gases. Okay. But in crop rotation offers preserved soil nutrients. How? Well, different crops have a variety of nutrient requirements, and rotating them can help maintain soil fertility. As crops need nutrients, microbes, tilth, pH, and moisture in soil. So crop rotation enriching soil. Different crops have a variety of nutrients, requirements, yes, and types of root systems. This also is an adage to what each individual crop needs for, optimum growth. Crop rotation helps maintain the soil's fertility, thus reducing the need for synthetic fertilizers, and crop rotation adds structure to soil by preventing nutrient depletion and soil erosion. For example, legume crops like soybeans, which include, a variety of beans as well, and peas, they do enrich the soil with nitrogen, and which benefits other crops such as cereal crops planted later in the future, therefore require nutrient-rich soil to grow. I have this video here that is pretty much a synopsis of everything I've gone over, but let's understand it a little clearer.
I'm going to plant corn, then soybeans, then wheat, then canola, then sugar beets, then whatever it happens to be. My point is, farmers will say the word rotation, and that's really what they're talking about. It's planting a different crop next.
One of the reasons that farmers may choose to do this is to avoid insect problems. I'll give you a good example. This past growing season, there was a huge amount of corn rootworms out there, and for farmers who want to plant corn back into last year's cornfields, well, guess where those rootworms are overwintering? Primarily in last year's corn. So by rotating to a crop like soybeans that isn't a host for corn rootworms, farmers can avoid some of the problems that they would otherwise see from that carryover insect.
All right, so insects, that's a big reason. Diseases is, I'm going to plant corn, then soybeans, then...
Okay. All right, so pests and disease management. Yes. Crop rotation disrupts the life cycle of pests, and when you take away their food supply, they have nothing to eat, and so the infestation is exterminated. And this includes pests like pathogens, weeds, and that are specific to certain crops. So rotating these crops out is very beneficial. And farmers can reduce pest and disease infestation along with reducing the buildup of soil-borne pathogens, which in turn decrease the need for chemical pesticides and herbicides, which promote sustainability in farming and agricultural resilience. All right, promoting sustainable pest control. All right, some crops suppress weeds more effectively than others. Crop rotation can include weed suppressive crops or those that require different weed management strategies, helping to control weed populations and reduce weed infestation in the crops. But as you can see, all these little pests of legumes are very different from the pests of potatoes. So rotating between potatoes and soybeans, or potatoes and soybeans, is a good alternative to overusing pesticides to treat the land. Okay, diversity and resilience. All right, crop rotation. How does this promote diversity? Well, it promotes agricultural systems which can enhance ecosystem resilience and sustainability. Diverse crop rotation can also provide habitat and food sources for beneficial insects and wildlife, little animals. So contributing to the overall ecosystem's health, if you will. Insecticides are the biggest concern here, and reducing the use of insecticides by taking away the insect's favorite crop, food crop, and replacing with something they don't like, they'll be gone. And this is very beneficial to our pollinators, as in insects, our pollinators are the biggest issue with what we want to keep, because they're good and they benefit our crop yield by pollinating. All right, so economic encouragement. Is this economical? All right. Sustainable, yes. Economical, yes as well. How? Crop rotation can improve crop yield and reduce costs for farmers, as they don't have to purchase soil fertilizers and pesticides as much. And farmers can achieve higher profit and more sustainable farming practices in the long run by this method. What's your carbon footprint? Organic farming. All right, every organic farm is required to produce crops by crop rotation, because this is useful in preventing soil diseases, insects, and other pests, and weeds, other pests like weeds, and problems later on. This is for building healthy soil, ultimately. Some crops that are rotated are for creating biomass. Okay, so we need composting in organic farming and other methods of natural, repellents for insects, such as neem oil or other oils. And by planting the crop vetch, which is a biomass crop, incorporated into soil to add volume, nutrients, and water holding capacity for the next crop, of course. This is very beneficial and sustainable and promotes food resilience. So, as you can see, this organic farm here planted corn, then vetch, then tomatoes, hay, and then beans. So my conclusion is, crop rotation is a fundamental agricultural practice that will pave the way for future sustainability in crop production, and it does this by diversifying cropping systems and optimizing resources used. And farmers can improve agricultural resilience and productivity while minimizing environmental impact, negative environmental impact. So, growing crops that are meant to be used for reconditioning of the soil with nutrients and water holding residues is important for our future in agriculture. So, vetch and any other biomass crop to incorporate into soil mass for mulch or fertilization purposes is incredible for our future. And as we know, climate change is among us. And farmers can improve agricultural resilience and productivity with minimizing the carbon footprint. Thank you. References.